exploring the intersection of automotive passion and the industry that shapes our world. This is Rides and Real Estate. Welcome to Rides and Real Estate, where we explore the intersection of automotive passion and the industry that shapes our world, which is obviously real estate, right? This is episode number 2. And as per usual, we have a special guest to come on and chat with and share their story. If this is your first time tuning in, go ahead and go back to episode 1 because it has a lot of great content for you, where we had my very good friend, Alex Tidstrom, who actually was my very first international client buyer when it comes to purchasing his first property here in the States. But yeah, I won't spill all the beans. I won't have any spoilers for episode 1, but please go back and also please consider subscribing to the channel or adding this to your playlist, as we're giving a unique spin on real estate content, and we're bridging the gap between automotive passion and, as I said, the industry that shapes our world, which is real estate. This week, we do have a very special guest, as I said. It's actually the man behind the camera. His name is John Vo, aka Vo Visuals on Instagram and social media. He's the man that's in charge of all the stuff behind the scenes with the lighting and the production, the editing, and so forth. He's going to share his story and his passion for cars and content creation. And I can't wait to bring him on, which will be in a few seconds here. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, as I said, if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. We got a lot of great stuff planned for the future. This is episode 2. And at launch, we had 3 episodes ready to go live. But going forward, once this channel is live, obviously, we're going to have a monthly kind of thing. And what to expect with future content? I mean, anything goes pretty much. We're going to have real estate content. We're going to have car content, racing content, vlogs, car shows, home tours, you name it. The sky's the limit when it comes to our creativity. So if anyone's interested in coming on the show to kind of share their story, share their cool garage, share their cool house, their cool car, and if you have somewhat of a real estate journey, I mean, real estate is all around us, so I'm pretty sure anyone and everyone has a story when it comes to real estate as well. We'd love to have you on the show, or to be considered to be a guest on the show. Feel free to DM us, email us. All the information is in our show notes or on screen right now. If you also want to collaborate on a deal, I'm a licensed real estate agent here in the Tampa area, in Central Florida, all of Florida, trying to go international and around the country, of course. But if you want to collab on a deal, send a referral, please do so. Again, all the information is in the show notes of this video. So we're going to bring Mr. John Vo on in a few moments here. But real estate in 2024, what does the future hold for us? Yeah, we're already, at the time of filming this, we're in the second half of January already. Crazy to think just a few weeks ago it was 2023. Now we're halfway through January in 2024. Does home ownership appear to be attainable for, let's say, Gen Z as an example? John is actually a member of Gen Z. We're going to be diving into that, answering some of his questions if he's unsure about the process of home buying at such a young age. Gen Z is actually the largest group that's coming of age compared to all the other age groups that's come before, which is obviously millennials. I myself am a millennial. There's Gen X, baby boomers, and so forth. So I'm definitely excited to kind of give him tips and tricks when it comes to possibly buying in the near future. And obviously he's going to provide some tips and tricks for content as well, because I want to add, at the end of the day, I want to add value to everyone who's watching and people who are coming on the show. But back to Gen Z, coming of age, right? Just a few weeks ago, I helped a 22-year-old buy his first house. Amazing stuff. At such a young age, he's already ahead of the game quite a bit, substantially. And shout out to Kyle. Hopefully he's watching this. He did an amazing job setting himself up for future success and future wealth. So kudos to you, brother. But yeah, 2024, the interest rates are a big driving factor in the past few years. I mean, for any real estate market for that matter. But 2020, 2021, the real estate market was quite an interesting journey. That's when I started my real estate career. Real estate interest rates were pretty low, which created a crazy scenario where so many buyers could all of a sudden afford, average price housing. And so that created a lot of competition, a lot of bidding wars. Nowadays, interest rates are, in the 7s, 8s, but they're creeping down. So what's going to happen is when the interest rates drop, more buyers are going to come to the market. So what a lot of my colleagues are saying is that, in the Q2, Q3, it's going to be quite busy for realtors and everyone in the real estate business. So it should be a nice year for us. Hopefully for buyers as well, because we want buyers to win as well. We want everybody to win at the end of the day. But this podcast, why did I create this podcast and this channel? Well, as I said previously, I want to try and add value to everyone who's viewing this video or listening to this podcast, and obviously add value to the people coming on. Share their story, share their tips, their trials and tribulations, their downfalls, what's the opposite of a downfall? Their ups and downs, I should say. And also, I wanted to kind of double down on my law of attraction when it comes to attracting new business. So as I said before, if you want to collaborate on a deal, definitely send it my way. If you want to send me a referral for any agents out there who are out of state or considering sending their client to Florida or Tampa, I'm your guy. Sold over $22 million in real estate as of filming this episode in just over 3 years. So that's some pretty good numbers. Obviously, I'm just a drop in the bucket when it comes to, other high producers in the area, but I've done so with having zero experience in the real estate game. So I'm definitely blessed by my mentors, which they're going to be a future guest as well. Juan and Edison, they're going to be on the show. Founders of More Homes, where I hang my license as a real estate agent. As per usual, you guys already know the unique aspect of the channel is we have sim racing. We're doing so in Gran Turismo 7. And the user has a choice of doing so on the big screen, which we have a theater screen tied up to a simulator rig, or you can do so in VR. The choice is yours. I did so in VR. Let's do a little rewind as to how it all started. So we chose the car that we're going to use for the entire season, a stock sports car. We had the choice of, I think it was 10 different cars, all different makes. And it landed on an Lexus RCF, which is actually the car that's sitting right there on the desk here, but a stock version. And a lot of people watching this may not know, I'm a huge Lexus fan. I have an IS500, I have an ISF, I had an LC500, so I definitely know a few things when it comes to Lexus sports cars. So I think it was kind of surreal when it landed on the RCF. But going back to the sim, so every guest on the show is going to drive a stock RCF on the Nürburgring sprint configuration, which is, everybody knows the Nürburgring. It's a long track, and doing that on a simulator is going to take a long time. So I condensed it down. We're doing so on the sprint configuration of the track, which, looking at our times, we'll actually go over the times. Alex was our first guest on the show. His time using the RCF was 1 minute, 44 seconds, 0.669. Which actually he has the track record right now. He beat me, even though I have more seat time in Gran Turismo 7. Mind you, he's a professional level drifter, racer, car guy all around. So I think that's what gave him the advantage. Myself, I have the second fastest time right now, 1 minute, 46 seconds, 0.8. So he basically was 2 seconds faster. And then John, which is actually the guest on the show today, his time was 1 minute, 48.377. So unfortunately, he's the slowest one. But you can see there, it's a pretty close race so far. And I did it in VR. I was the only one to do it in VR. So I can only imagine how much my time would have changed if I did not do it in VR. But we can't go back, can't change. That's set in stone. We have a leaderboard at the end of the year. We're going to have ultimate bragging rights and a trophy for the person with the fastest time. Maybe I'll throw in a monetary prize in there as well. We'll see. We'll see how this channel is, because this is a brand new channel after all. So with that being said, John already did seat time, so we're going to do something a little bit different. I decided that, since at the time of filming this, Rolex 24 is next weekend. Lexus actually is participating in that track in 2 classes, GTD and GTD Pro. They're actually running this RCF GT3 right there. And this is the car we're going to be driving in the sim. And we're going to be doing at the Daytona Speedway road course. and we'll see between me and John who's going to have the fastest time. So I think that'll be pretty interesting, to say the least. But going forward for episode number 3, we're going to go back to the original format, and whoever the new guest is going to go back to the Nürburgring in the stock RCF. So with that further delay, let's bring on John to the hot seat here, man. Come on down.
What it do? First and foremost, can we just appreciate how nice this setup is? Yes. We got the neon sign right here. We got ambient lighting over there. We got a few of these right here. Like, I mean, what can get better? What can get better?
It's a pretty nice setup, man.
As like a first like podcast ever to be in, and this is episode 2.
Yeah.
And like just even knowing you as a big brother in the car community, like it's literally perfect.
Yeah, man.
Right now, it's perfect.
The lighting sets it off. I think first and foremost, I love the color because it matches my new car, the IS500.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, literally. Yeah. How am I just noticing that now?
I think it was just by coincidence. No, it was all intentional.
Yeah.
It was all planned.
Yeah. Right. So I love that. So
John, man, I mean, I don't think I gave the proper introduction yet. You know, I told people before that, number one, you're a Marine veteran, correct?
Yes.
You're a crazy good content creator.
A little bit.
Big time car guy.
Yeah, so most definitely.
What am I missing there? Is there any titles that you like to?
Oh, black belt, taekwondo, I play piano, I played for 8 years,
For real? Taekwondo, for real?
Yeah, taekwondo.
Like, for real?
Yeah,
that's cool, man. No, because my wife is a black belt taekwondo too.
No
but
way.
That was back in the day though, when she was like, pre-teenager years. So.
Oh no, yeah, same. So like I only did it for 4 years when I was 8 to 12.
Okay,
and then
so that's crazy.
Yeah. Oh really?
Yeah, not me, but for my wife.
Yeah.
Okay, go on. What are your other hobbies and stuff?
What else? What else do I have? I play Fortnite.
Still?
No, not still. But like those, I'm not really that competitive. But yeah, you know what? Never mind. No, we'll forget about that.
So you're a video game person.
Video gamer. Yeah, video gamer. Okay. I guess. What else? I mean, runner, former runner. I should be getting back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically my basic summary of me is I was a Marine. I got out. I'm a videographer now, content creator as well. And this year, hopefully, we're going to be really striving to be the true content creators out here in Tampa.
Oh, content creation is a huge thing in what we do. Obviously, we're in two different worlds. You're like car enthusiast, content creator. I'm in there too, kind of, but mine is sprinkled in a little bit of real estate, right?
A little bit.
That's how our worlds collided, right?
Yeah.
We share a passion for cars, sports cars. You drive a Supra.
Mark 5 Supra.
Mark 5 Supra, aka
the banana.
AKA the banana.
The banana.
AKA BMW.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So for people who may not know, because there's actually still people that don't know, what's the story with Supra and the BMW situation? Some people honestly don't know.
I guess Toyota, when they just decided to remodel the Supra that's been out for 20 years, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They decided to find a different engine rather than make their own, I guess, just to save a little bit of money. Okay, I don't know don't take me quote by quote, but from what I've heard, it is easier to find someone else who has a solid engine already, BMW, the B58 platform. And I mean, through the numbers with the 3 Series and videos you can see online, those things are crazy for a downpipe and tune.
In a lot of ways, it kind of properly echoes the 2JZ, because 2JZ was a very basic engine, but tune it up, it could take a lot of power and be really quick, relatively speaking, like cost-wise.
Yeah, and how easy it is to just modify it. Like when you see the engine bay, it's all open. Like the downpipe, again, the tuning, it's so simple. Yeah.
So how modded is yours?
Oh, right now, mine's kind of basic. So I have a catted downpipe, and then lowering springs, spacers, the usual, and then intake. For anyone who's planning on getting a Mark 5 Supra, get an intake. You'll hear that iconic like that
As if-
the turbo flutter, as if it was actually like the real thing.
Yeah.
But yes, when I got that, I mean, it was what, like $300-$400 for the intake, and like the sound difference was already insane.
Yeah.
And then having the lowering springs and spacers just gives it that nice fitment, flush look, and then that catted downpipe that I put on, and it should be catless, but I kind of want to keep the warranty.
It sounds good though, right?
Yeah, no, it sounds so like.
Can we add a B-roll of that right now?
Yep. Okay.
That's
All right.
nice.
Now we're back. Very nice. But yeah, when I put on that downpipe, bro, I was spinning like crazy already, and it's the catted. It's not even the catless.
Do you have to get tuned like for it to get running correctly or what?
10. No, not even tuned. I haven't even tuned it yet. If I put a tune on there, man,
Yeah.
push what 500s
Yeah.
easily, just like that.
You definitely dust my eyes 500 probably.
Yeah. But the one thing about the only downside to Supra, besides the constant bullying for BMW,
It's the going like meme joke.
Yeah, going
that's in the
meme
car
joke.
community. It's kind of old, but it's still circular.
it'll never end. But hey, it's a great
it's still a
car
piece of
for
a
the
car.
value, for the looks, for the comfort of it. You get space. There's subs in the back, and it's a 50-50 ratio. You can track the car. Like there's no better value for a car than a Supra, and that came from a Mark IV Supra owner, Jared.
Ah, you heard it from Jared.
Well, yeah. Well, shout out to Jared, my homie out there.
Yeah, he's
my
actually going
mentor.
to be a future guest on the podcast. He was actually supposed to be in your seat today, but
Yeah, but I replaced him.
he's a busy guy.
I replaced him.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be AKA Full Circle Garage. He has a nice JDM car collection. And there's some pretty interesting content coming with him too, right?
Oh,
I know we probably can't spill the beans about it, but
Little bit of a hint of that podcast coming up.
yeah,
Jared is basically the guy
he's that guy.
for not only cars, but just himself. He's that guy.
Yeah, I mean,
that's something to look forward to.
he has a family. He has he's a
He has a
successful
six
business.
pack.
Oh, he's ripped. MMA, and he has a lot of people think it's impossible to raise a family and have your hobbies of cars. Usually, when you have kids, like, oh damn, I got to sell my cars to help fund the babies.
Yes.
Expenses, right? Not for him. He's proven us wrong that you can have a family and have kids and a successful business and be ripped as hell.
Yeah.
Like he's
And
dope,
not
man.
ripped. Like this man's about to go into the cage. Like he's about to fight motherfuckers out of there. Like,
Is he really gonna fight somebody?
yeah.
I didn't know he was trained for
technically, he was supposed to go on the 20th, but that ended up getting canceled because he's trying to build his social media now.
I mean, he's at like 70K plus now at this point. Maybe at the time of the releasing this, he's probably at 100K. Shoot.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. That man, again, he's that guy.
He's gonna be an interesting guest on the show, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Probably episode 3 or 4 or 5, who knows? But he's down. He's definitely down.
Yeah. When that episode comes out, oh man,
Yeah.
be prepared.
Yeah.
Be
So
prepared.
back to you, man. Like Jared kind of like took the thunder
cake.
there. He stole your thunder there.
No, all good. He's my man.
Yeah. So we talked about cars already. We know that you're a car guy. Content, bro. Like, how powerful is content these days, man? Like, in your opinion?
Again, like it's like how what's a great example? Like I mean, just right now,
Like
how we met, like through just Instagram DMs, and so I'll provide from my side because my whole career was just based on like people DMing me content wise. They see my work, they see the videos, they see the pictures, they see like how
the quality,
and it's a video. It's just a video, but somehow a video got me to hang out with YouTubers, hang out with supercar owners, rallies. I happened to record one of the biggest houses in the US, the House of Versailles. Amazingly.
Yeah.
And that was a great opportunity. Shout out to them for hooking me up with that. And just the amount of, and these are just strangers that I've never met. They saw my work.
Yep.
And they trusted me to make videos for them. And
Right.
I was like, wow. Like,
There's a reason they call it influencers, right?
yeah.
Because most influencers, they're posting video content on the daily, sometimes multiple times daily. So we call it influencers because you have a high degree of influence over your followers, right? Even though our following may not be in the tens of millions, we still have influence of people who are already on our followers list to enough to where they want to do business with us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Case in point, like our last guest, Alex, we talked about it on episode 1. We met because of social media, because of a mutual friend that I had. Shout out to Frank.
All the way in Sweden.
Yeah, he's all the way from Sweden.
How does that happen?
How does that happen? Because of social media.
Yeah.
So any people out there, any entrepreneurs, any people who are building a side hustle, like don't sleep on video content. Like pictures are cool too, selfies are cool too, but video played a huge factor in my success in the real estate business. Same as you. I mean, you're starting to blow up too. So all your video content is actually paying off.
Yeah.
Mind you, it's very time consuming, but I feel like it's worth it, man. I mean, I've sold $22 million in real estate, so.
Yeah, I've been flown out to like 16 flights within the span of 3 months. Like that again. People just DMing me. That's just how it is.
Influence. Video has such a big influence. Even when I first started real estate, my broker, shout out to Juan and Edison again, at the very core of like my daily operations was sending videos to my potential clientele. Like obviously for a realtor, you get leads, right? People inquiring on properties online, whatever website they inquire on. Most agents, they'll call, they'll text, they'll email.
The basics.
The basics. However, me, on top of all the stuff that I just mentioned, I would send them a selfie video introducing myself. So I'd be like, hey, Mr. Client, this is Chris. I got your message about property on 123 Banana Street. I wanted to reach out and introduce myself. I'd be happy to help. By the way, it's still on the market. Let me know if you want to see it. Boom, send a video. Mind you, I didn't get a response every time, but the ones that do respond, they actually appreciated it. Like, wow, nobody's doing videos, man. So, videos, influence.
Yeah, no, because like videos is basically your eyes right now. Like you're watching a video, or like it's literally the number one immersive way to interact with someone or to see a place or like to catch a feeling. Because when you do a video, you get all 3 senses. You get the sense of seeing something, a sense of hearing something within the video, and then the feeling. The feel. So whenever you do the videos of homes and like music wise in there as well, and the movement of it portrays home. And so, yeah.
Or whatever emotion you're trying to convey.
Whatever emotion there are. Yeah, that's why I love videos. Videos is basically life.
Yeah, for sure. So you were in the military as well, a Marine.
Yeah.
Like, what was it like being a Marine, man?
All right, so I'll give that whole story now. So I started way back. So fun fact, I joined the Marines when COVID started. COVID started
in 2020.
2020. Around spring, and I joined, May of 26. So it was a very interesting time because we never had anything like this happen until like a military training, and for it to be paused was like a first time ever.
Yeah.
And when we went in, mask everywhere, they're yelling at everyone 6 feet apart and all that. It was a very interesting time.
Like drill sergeants were yelling 6 feet apart.
Drill instructors, like they're like, put your mask up and like all this 45 degrees.
While you're doing push-ups and burpees, you have to wear a mask.
When we're sweating out in like training and stuff like that, they don't care. We're getting waterboarded by our own sweat in the mask. We're just like, bro, how are we alive right now? But yeah, the way training was, or the training happened, it was completely different. 6 feet apart. Close combat, we had to be like, I guess, a little bit more careful. And then what else? I actually got COVID in boot camp too. And you would think like, oh, they put you in a hospital, like, treat you well or something. They literally threw us into like a squad bay full of like cattle and just packed up like it was prison.
Quarantine.
Yeah, it was straight up prison. Like, okay, like straight up, like, not to be racist or anything. Like,
oh gosh, here comes racist.
Yeah, so like all the white people got their corner, and then like the Hispanics had their corner.
Yeah.
And then in the middle was like, oh yeah, like the equal opportunity people or equality people just like hanging out, and it was like me, Hispanic guys, a black guy, and then a white guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's so many stories of that. But after boot camp, man. Ripped, lost 30 pounds, I've never had a six pack in my life, and just seeing that for the first time ever.
So you got a six pack just from all their whatever you guys are training.
Training was intense every day. It wasn't a second that was wasted. I'm not even joking. A second wasted. Mm-hmm. When we finished, it was so weird to just sit down and do nothing. Like strangely, and it felt so strange to see a phone for the first time in 3 months.
Oh, so you're away from everything, like no contact with the outside
exactly.
world.
If you were to ever plan on doing like a 3-month cleanse or whatever it is, that was straight up boot camp.
Go through boot camp.
Yeah, go through boot camp. I recommend it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I unfortunately served only 2 years because I got medically retired. Some stuff happened between my unit, and I was in a hospital for a little bit into rehab battalion, and then I got out April of 22, and what else was there? When I was in the Marines, I was a 3051 supply warehouse man. I was supposed to be a combat camera. As a fun fact,
Combat camera.
So
like a video.
Yeah, I shoot people. Yeah. But like
you shoot people not with guns.
Yeah, not with guns, but a camera. It was basically for photographing training. I guess a little bit if you were to deploy out, because I don't know if it's for like intel and stuff like that, but majority part of it is for social media, for event wise, whenever people are doing ceremonies,
okay,
big events where the higher ups are meeting up with other higher ups, branches and stuff like that. And I was like,
basically the content creator of the Marines.
Yeah, and that would have been a very interesting different direction of life, because I was 1 point away from becoming a combat cameraman. I was 1 point under.
In terms of your rank?
Yeah. And like before going into a military or anything, you take a test. Yeah, the ASVAB test. And then part of the portion was like a GT score. And for a combat cameraman, it was like 95, and I scored a 94 or something.
Oh, you're so close.
And I was like, dang, like the dream job. It's like you're in the military, you get the the discipline, the order, everything is top notch shape, and you get to do something that you love, photographing, or video and stuff like that. But hey, the universe has this way of mixing things around, and I mean, I don't know if I technically would still be in the military right now if I
couldn't get discharged.
Yeah, if I didn't get discharged. Yeah,
but everything happens for a reason, man. I mean, you're doing what you love with your content.
Yeah, and then so I was a little bit of supply. I got attached to a combat engineer battalion where people blow stuff up, and we help the people who help the people blow stuff up. It's a weird mix around.
Were you deployed anywhere too?
Unfortunately not, because we were a non-deployable unit. But it was weird because I remember one guy got deployed somehow. He had special treatment or something. But yeah, no. For the majority of the part, I was just stationed on Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, Combat Engineer Battalion. And yeah, no, it was pretty chill. They call it the career-ending battalion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the CEB, so Combat Engineer Battalion.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the fun name for it. They couldn't.
But it's still honorable discharge, so you'll still get benefits as a veteran, right?
Yes. So I'm gonna ask my question now, because as a Gen Z, so we're gonna head to the whole topic of real estate. Right. So since I am a veteran, so what I've heard from my side of benefits for real estate is the VA. What is it again? The zero down payment possibility, tax write-offs, or tax exemptions.
Okay.
Is there anything else besides?
Well, I'll touch on what you just said. So, as a veteran, as a legit veteran, because if you're dishonorably discharged.
Oh yeah. We don't do those out there.
Yeah. In your case, you're a legit veteran. So you're entitled to your VA benefits as a VA loan. So you can do 0% down. So that has its pros and cons, right?
Yeah.
The pro is obviously you come out of pocket less because you're just covering your closing costs, right? Which closing costs is the fees associated with processing the loan, right? But the downside to that is you're putting zero down. That means your loan's going to be higher.
Yeah.
Right. So you just got to pick your.
Could we do like an example? Like, let's say a house is $300,000.
Yeah.
$300,000, zero down payment, and then closing costs and all that.
Yeah. So let's do this. Throw a number out there. What price of a house would you want to buy?
$350.
$350. So it's $350. You're putting zero down, right? But your closing cost is probably going to be like 3 to 4%, give or take. So I'll just do 3.5. So your closing cost is still going to be about 12 grand, 13 grand.
Okay.
So on top of having zero down, you still have to come up with that 12 grand.
Okay.
To cover the closing costs.
Regardless, it's going to be a big chunk.
Right. Exactly. So in terms of your monthly payment, that's a big factor as well, because a normal buyer, if they're going with an FHA loan, which is a Federal Housing Administration loan, government loan, they can put as low as 3.5%, which some veterans choose to go FHA just because they have the ability to put a down payment and reduce the amount of money that they're borrowing.
Right.
Right. Let's see what else. But I'm nothing against VA loan. VA loan is still good, but just so you're aware of the pros and cons. To your other part that you mentioned a second ago, your tax exemption. So depending on amount that you're disabled as a veteran, if you're 100% disabled, then you don't pay any property taxes, period. That's a good benefit. That's a really good benefit, because some property taxes are like, depending on the neighborhood, like anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000.
$10,000.
Yeah. So, that's substantial. If you spread that out between on an annual basis, you're paying that much extra on your loan. So are you disabled to a certain degree?
60% right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 60.
Oh, so if we injure you a little bit more, if I
yeah, find out some more things. Oh no, there's a bullet in my. I don't know.
Just joking, guys.
Yeah. In all seriousness, if you are a veteran out there, please check out your VA for service, connected disabilities and all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the VA is still a good benefit for all the veterans out, the VA loan actually. But let's break down your scenario. So you're buying a house for $350, right? Your down payment, in this case, you're going to see how much it is for zero. Mm-hmm. So your loan is still the $350,000. You're doing it for 30 years. Let's say, for example, you are 100% disabled. So we'll put zero for property taxes. Everything else is going to be a default. You're no HOA. So your payment is going to be all right, so about $2,800 a month for a $350,000.
That's a good check. That's pretty.
Let's compare it to, let's say, if someone was putting 3.5% down as a down payment, right? It goes from $2,800 to $2,765. So not a terrible difference. You know what I mean? But the difference is you still got your money in the bank that you didn't have to put as your down payment. So a lot of people use that money to invest in other places to make more money for them.
Right.
Or just use it as their kind of savings for a cushion.
Okay.
Right. But, I'm using a 7.77 interest rate. The interest rates are actually trending down. My client from the most recent one that closed, he got like a 5.5 interest rate. It was a special promotion that the builder was offering, but he got 5.5. So if, let's say his house was about 350, if I remember correctly. So, let's see, 5.5. So that would bring your payment down to like $2,200 more or less. He lives in an HOA community with CDD, which is extra taxes and stuff. So his payment's a little bit higher, but in this example here, it's $2,200 a month. If you have no HOA, putting 3.5% down with a 5.5 interest rate. Mind you, 5.5 interest rate is not a thing right now. It was just a special rate that the builder was offering at that time. So I think market interest rates are in like the high 6s, low 7s, more or less, depending on when you're watching this video, I would say. Yeah. But
is this based on a 15 year?
30.
Okay. 30. So 22. Okay.
Yeah. So, the benefit, speaking of Kyle, like you're using him as a prime example, Buying new versus buying used is actually a good question to answer, even though you didn't ask it.
No. Yeah. So what is better? Buying an old house and renovating it, or just buying those new homes that are being built as we speak to them?
That's a good question, man. It just depends on what your personal preference is. If you want something brand spanking new that's going to come with a warranty, then buying new is probably.
They come with a warranty?
They usually come with a limited buyer's warranty. And also, they usually give out some kind of incentives, right at the beginning. And they'll pay most of your closing costs. Wow. I think for Kyle, as an example, they paid, I think he got like $11,000 to help with his closing costs, which he only had to come up with a down payment of 3.5%, and then maybe a little bit extra for closing cost coverage. So that's a good thing about buying a brand new house, is that you get the incentives pretty much across the board, depending on the builder. Whereas if you go with a used home, then those kind of things have to be negotiated.
Okay.
So if it's a really nice house in a really nice neighborhood that there's other buyers making an offer on the property, then you have to be very competitive with how you structure the deal. Right? Because you're making an offer on the house. Doesn't mean it's going to get accepted.
Right.
So, if it has all the bells and whistles, then you probably are going to have to cover all of your closing costs and not get too much incentives from the seller.
I guess I'm kind of leaning towards more the newer houses.
The new house, honestly, it does have a lot of appeal. But other people, you can even go for, like, let's say a house that's not as nice, that's been on the market for a while, needs a little bit of love, but it's still livable. Those kind of properties, you could negotiate terms like getting all your closing costs covered, getting a credit back from the seller, as an example. I think don't quote me on this, I'm pretty sure this is the case. If you were to buy a $350,000 house with an FHA loan, you can get up to 6% back from the seller as whatever you want to do. You can do closing costs. You can get, a check at closing as an example.
Oh, wow.
But those kind of things can be negotiated if you go resale. So that's the pro of going on a used resale house, is everything's up for negotiation, technically.
Okay.
Whereas new construction,
it's like
it's fixed. Like, this is what we're offering. This is our price. Take it or leave it. Right. Okay. But it's still good. Either way you go.
Yeah. It does seem more like simple to go with the new house. Like, it's already said and done. But if you do want to find those like hidden gems and like little bits of like fixer uppers, just to have it the same price as like the newer houses that are more expensive.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a whole different like ball game, is finding like crappy homes, renovating them, making them worth double or triple what you bought it for.
Yeah.
Sell it at a profit. That's like house flipping business, basically.
Fixer uppers.
Yeah. That's very competitive as well, but you got to do a lot of legwork to find those deals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's something you can look into as well. A lot of people build wealth strictly doing house flips or holding on to them as rentals. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's go ahead and backtrack a little bit. So as a first time homeowner, or the whole Gen Z group, or if I'm representing them, I don't know too much, but all I know is okay, of course, the closing costs, finding the property, negotiating and the prices and stuff like that, if you're going with a new or used home.
Right.
So I guess so what's the usual recommended down payment? What's companies for finding the loans, how much you should save up for the down payments and stuff.
Yes.
Generally, what's the
process?
What's the process? Yeah, there you go.
That's a very loaded question.
Yes.
But I'm going to try and answer all of them.
Okay.
So starting with your down payment, which we kind of touched on that in an earlier part of this conversation, is if you're a VA, if you're a veteran and you want to use your VA loan, you can put zero down, right? But remember, you're going to be putting zero down, so your loan's going to be higher because it's basically 100% financing. If you want to not use VA, or if you don't qualify for a VA, then you have FHA. You also have a conventional loan option. FHA is what a lot of people choose because you only have to put 3.5% down minimum.
Oh,
so using your $350,000 house as an example, 3.5% down is only $12,250. But remember, there's also closing costs, right?
Yeah.
So I usually just double the down payment of 3.5%, and that's pretty much your total cash needed to close the deal on closing day, $24,500. But remember, everything is negotiable, right? Especially if you're buying a resale home. You can get this cost down by hiring a realtor that you trust, probably me, or wherever you are. Make sure you get one that's highly recommended.
I'm going with you.
Thank you. So 24,500. That you can bring that number down significantly. Let's say if you have the seller contribute all of your closing costs, so that 3.5% that I mentioned for the down for the closing costs, the seller's going to cover it. So now you just brought that back down to 12,250. So you only need that to close on a house. But I don't recommend buying a house if you just have that much in the bank. You still want to have a financial cushion because owning a house still has its financial responsibilities. There's going to be, your pest control,
Insurance,
which is built into the payment actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yes, it's definitely good to have a good policy built into the mortgage payment. Unforeseen repairs, right? So let's say the roof is a big one. Plumbing.
Because right now my parents are dealing with a roof issue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's going on with the roof?
Leakage, and apparently, it's going through the house and and everything. So we're trying to get an insurance claim on that, but apparently they denied it for some reason, and we're trying to get it back to it because we can't sell the house unless it's fixed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you can. I went through this exact same situation, actually. You can sell a house with a leaky roof, and you can make a deal with the roofing company to fix it, but they get paid at closing. So let's say you sell your house. I don't know how much it's worth, but let's say you sell a house for $500,000. Loan gets paid off when the buyer buys it, and whatever the roof costed to repair, then the roofing company is just going to take their piece of the pie. So if it costs $10,000 to get the roof done, then they're going to take that $10,000 out of your profit from when you sell the house.
Okay.
But that's only if are you guys trying to sell the house?
No, not right now, but like down the line when we do. That was just my dad's main thing right now, just the whole roof leakage.
Yeah, the insurance claim thing is tough sometimes. Insurance is a big issue actually in Florida, with a lot of insurance carriers pulling out, decreasing our options for policies. And obviously insurance don't want to pay if they don't have to.
Yeah.
So
they said, screw you guys.
Basically, right?
We had the whole kitchen soaked and everything, and
oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have a public adjuster?
I'm not sure. I just remember we had 3 people walk through the house, just checking the.
You almost want somebody to represent your best interest, which is why a public adjuster might be a better option. Mind you, you're gonna have to pay them if this insurance claim pays out.
Yeah.
But if the roofing company is saying their own people, then obviously they're gonna look out for their best interest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll keep that noted. For down the line. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, where were we at? We were talking about the roof. Yeah. So the whole process, you got to worry about roof expenses, plumbing, electrical, which all that stuff can be determined before you close on the house. Because as soon as you find the house, you're gonna hire an inspector to go through the house, ransack the house visually. He's not gonna go in, but he's gonna check the roof, he's gonna check the plumbing, the electrical, the structure, all the cosmetic stuff. He's gonna find and document it.
So pre-checks before going into that.
Yeah, so you have a pretty good picture of the condition of the house before you decide, okay, perfect, let's move forward. Or, hold up, wait a minute, let's talk to the seller and make them aware of these things. Because sometimes sellers aren't aware of issues in the house. Like if there's an electrical outlet that's not working, or if there's a legitimate leak on a sprinkler outside, something like that. The seller is probably not aware, which is why you want to do an inspection before you make that decision to move forward when you buy a house.
Okay. So a good inspector, to make sure no bad stuff happens.
Yeah, exactly. Where else were we talking about here? The process. So Gen Z, I know this is probably going way over your head right now because you probably don't even think you're in a position to buy a house Well, maybe that's the case, or maybe you just don't know. Which is why we're talking to John here to represent Gen Z.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, like from what you said from the down payment, it seems reasonable for like if you guys saved up money, whether it be 10 grand, 20 grand, if you're buying like a cheaper house for like 200,000, what would a 200,000 be for a down payment?
Good question. $200,000 houses are kind of hard to find, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
in Tampa.
Yeah,
but just to humor you.
But in like distance area, or
let's say we're
developing areas.
Let's say we're all the way up north in Wikiwachi or something. $200,000 house in the same example is going to be $1,300.
$1,300.
Yeah, but you got to be the boonies, or somewhere that you may not consider wanting to live. You know, areas, certain areas, so to speak.
The woods.
The woods.
Woods.
Yes. The sticks.
Yeah. But to be honest, yeah, like $1,300 for 200,000.
But yeah, what was the example? 1,200 or 12,000 is pretty much all you need ballpark to close on a house if you get most of your closing costs covered. Okay. Which is pretty much the case for the most part. Like I have closed a lot of deals in my experience, $22 million actually.
Oh,
you know,
it's like
and in 2020, pretty much all of my deals, there was some kind of incentive given to my buyers, whether it was a new roof put on the house for them. Speaking about roofs,
yeah,
right?
the roofs.
I actually sold a house where I represented the seller, where the roof had to be put on before closing so the buyer could close. But almost every single time the buyer got something out of the deal where they didn't have to bring as much to the closing table, right? So like I said, 13 grand, give or take, is what you need for your down payment for a $350,000 house plus your closing costs. But again, like I said, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You still should have a financial cushion because you don't want to be house poor at the end of the day.
No.
You don't want to be struggling because as we talked about, you're going to have expenses come up. You still got, your electricity, your water bill, groceries, which we know groceries have gone up quite a bit. Eating out. You still want to have a life. You don't want to be slave to your bank.
Car payments.
Car parts. Yeah.
Big turbo.
Yeah,
that's another. That's actually a good point to bring up. Yeah, if you have a car payment, that's actually going to hurt your buying power.
Oh yeah, that's right. Check and
part of your debt to income ratio. So if you have a lot of debt, it's going to count against your income ratio. So now you won't qualify for as much as your buying power. So
fun fact. That's how my dad was trying to go around trying to buy another car for the house because he already has like 4 cars under the name, and so in order for him to buy another car, he had to put it on my name because
for credit wise.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So he got it, but he just has to put my name on there, and so it helps with buying a house and shit.
Were you guys co-signers or something?
Yeah, co-signing. Yeah.
Was that for the Corvette?
Yeah, it was for the Corvette. So my dad has a C8 Corvette, and it's like right after my car, and he was just like, let's just get it, and he got it on my birthday. Yeah, so and I got to drive.
Technically, it's your car too.
Technically. But
no,
I'd say it's
how often do you drive it though?
Honestly, we usually go for like coffee runs in it. Yeah. He does not drive it that often.
Oh, it's the garage queen for sure.
Yeah, he likes to sit back and look at it. But it's like the closest thing we can get to the SVJ, which is his dream car. Yeah. But maybe down the line. So he follows a YouTuber, a Vietnamese YouTuber that modifies like SVJs and creates like all these rallies. There's like a group in Houston, Texas, and it's just a whole bunch of nail salon owners,
I love
SVJ owners.
Oh my gosh,
and
I love that.
They just mod the highway, and you can imagine just like V12s left and right, just destroying the roads.
Let's talk about that for a second because what is it about Vietnamese folks that they pretty much monopolized the nail industry? Are you aware of any insider secrets here?
I remember I don't want to say it was invented in Vietnam, but we did have a lot of immigrants moving over here and they were trying to find jobs.
Yeah.
And so I guess like they started that foundation. It's like how I guess Indian people have like the convenience store market and then What else? What else is there? I don't know.
What
Chinese people just
they do a lot of different things though. Chinese folks, yeah.
Well, like Chinese buffets and restaurants and stuff like that.
Yeah, but even China buffets and stuff, they're not necessarily owned by Chinese people. Sometimes they're owned by like a Hispanic person or something.
There's even like a Japanese store owned by like a Vietnamese person out here, Kobe.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
but it's cool to see they basically created their own business, doing well obviously, and they fed that into their passion, which is cars. They have a little car club. The nail salon.
And then for them to start doing YouTube and social media, it's like another big step into the whole thing. It's like Johnny Dang. You know Johnny Dang?
Is that Johnny? Is he a jeweler?
Yeah, he's a jeweler.
Okay.
But he also has I'm curious if he
probably has like 10 businesses.
Oh yeah. I mean, he knows all the rappers and what Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious if I'm gonna search that later. If he knows the YouTuber out in Houston, Texas, because I know he also has an Aventador.
Yeah,
that'd be another cool collab.
Yeah.
What if we get Johnny Dang on here?
Power of social media, man. We got.
Hey, I'll be here to film. I'll be here to film.
I mean, technically, you're gonna be here filming all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
He already agreed. He's locked in.
Oh yeah. Certified podcast.
Yeah. So now we're back on the car conversation here. But yeah, Gen Z, reach out if you guys need help with the home buying stuff. I'm here for you. But we're back on the car topic here. We're gonna hop on the sim actually in a few minutes, and the RCF is gonna be the car to drive this time. Right there, that exact car right there is gonna be in Gran Turismo, and like I said, we're doing it in celebration of the new IMSA WeatherTech series starting again at Rolex 24.
Which I will not be here, unfortunately.
I'm trying to go myself, so hopefully I do make it. But we're driving that car. This is the championship car from last year. This number 14 RCF GT3. It won the entire class last year, which is pretty impressive for Lexus. A lot of people don't know it. People still aren't familiar with Fs, which is crazy to me. But what do you know about Fs, man?
F Sport. I mean,
as opposed to F Sports.
Oh, not F Sports. Yeah, right. F. So like. I mean, for my first introduction to the whole even Lexus is, the typical Vietnamese moms owning the
exactly.
Lexus. What is it again? LX
460, GX 460, all the big, the big SUVs. Yeah.
Yeah. If you were to ever meet
my mother-in-law has one actually.
Yeah. If you ever meet a Vietnamese mom, it is 90% of the time they own a freaking Lexus. Yeah.
So Lexus is not known for making high performance vehicles, and this right here is the proof that they're known for being a legitimate racing team.
Yeah,
mind you, it's Toyota. You already know Toyota has a big racing pedigree with all the races that they do. The 86s, the hybrid cars the hyper cars and WEC. Like those cars are Toyotas, man.
Yeah,
this right here is a legitimate Toyota 5.0 V8.
Heading up to the big dogs. So, but yeah, the RC, the whole F line. I would say number one is definitely like the RCF, the V8. Like it is so like it's almost low-key underrated as well because not a lot of people know that. When they think of a Japanese car, it's always like an inline six with a turbo and stuff like that. Not a naturally aspirated V8, which would be like a usual American muscle.
Yeah,
but have a Japanese naturally aspirated V8 is a big like low key hidden gem.
Yeah, always comes as a surprise when you fire it up if you have it modified and it has that rumble to it and people.
Yeah, and it's a good rumble. Like it's and for the price that you can get for them too, it's like. Dude, why wouldn't you? Why would you not get this? Or why would you get a Mustang rather than than that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people who are fan of JDM culture, obviously they're going to gravitate towards the Japanese V8 over here. And obviously certain people are attracted to Mustangs, which nothing wrong with that. It's probably the best-selling car, like sports car of all time, if I'm not mistaken. Would you agree? Yeah, but we're going to hit it in the sim. I did modify it in Gran Turismo 7, so it's turboed. It's not NA V8. It's turbo V8, so it's a little bit faster.
Turbo V8.
Yeah. But it's the same configuration that's in the race happening next weekend. So there's some sharp turns, heavy braking. The long straight around the banking is going to be part of it too. So it'll be fun, man. What you think, you're going to have a faster time than me?
You already
you
saw
came
my
pretty close.
Listen, guys. If you guys didn't hear from the last podcast, I actually beat that record right after I finished my 5th lap, and it was a 46.
It was your 6th lap because you had 5 laps.
Yeah, 6th lap. Yeah,
you had to do 5 laps to beat my time, which I only had 3 laps, mind you, because I have more seat time in Gran Turismo.
More seat time.
A lot more seat time. So obviously, I mean, this is all for fun and games.
Yeah.
It's for ultimate bragging rights. Like I said, depending on how this podcast goes, the person with the fastest time is going to have a monetary gain here. But since he already ran his lap last week, we're doing it different just for this episode. So starting with episode 3, we're going to be back to the same format. They're going to run the stock RCF GT3 at the Nürburgring sprint configuration track. To beat, what's the time to beat again? Alex's time is 1:44.669. What a pro, man! We gotta throw some video, a short B-roll of his drift car right here. So yeah, that's Alex. That's his drift car out in Sweden. Pretty sweet car if you ask me. LS swapped S14, crazy man. That's why he has a 144. With 0 sim experience.
Literally, and we were trying our dang best, and what the heck?
Yeah. So we're gonna head up there now, and we'll finish up the podcast here afterwards. So 3, 2, 1.
Well.
What'd you think of that? What'd you think of that track?
The brakes were glazed. Hey, you know that quote?
No, enlighten me.
Gran Turismo.
Oh, the movie?
Yeah.
I watched it, but I don't remember that quote.
So he was taking a turn and he said the brakes were glazed.
But they didn't believe him until they tested the car, right?
Yeah.
I remember that part now. Yeah.
So we gotta test the car. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, that was a nice ride around Daytona in that car. Man, that car is freaking incredible.
I can't take the credit, I just press a few buttons and tunes it up,
Right.
Well, that's most people are used to the oval NASCAR, right?
Yeah. No, that one was very interesting. Like going around with the turns and that one being that like slight angles when you hit the corners and stuff.
That turn one, heartbreaking. Yeah, I miss that all the time.
And when you're like going 100 freaking what was the max? I didn't even get to check the speed.
But we definitely topped out. I mean, in sixth gear on that the banking. Yeah,
you're holding sixth gear for a fat minute.
Yeah,
and then just coming off or just breaking from that into like a tight corner was. I was like, shit.
Yeah,
Jeez.
But the race that's happening next weekend, Rolex 24, legit. That people are going to be racing. The drivers are on that track for 24 hours straight. Well, they switch drivers, obviously, but the car is running.
Is three drivers just like how
3 drivers?
Okay.
3 drivers, 24 hours, just like Le Mans, 24 hours of Le Mans, same thing. 3 drivers.
Do you know how many hours each driver drives?
I think about 8.
8 hours.
Yeah, 8 times 3 is 24. Right? Yeah, so about 8 hours.
8 hours of driving. Okay.
No, 8 times 3 is 24. Yeah, so 8 hours.
Yeah.
I'm tripping.
No,
My math.
Well, I was like, how did they go by like getting a good amount of sleep in and stuff like that? But 8 hours for each is reasonable.
Yeah. So the time wise, remember this is unofficial. It was just for fun since he already got his time for the main leaderboard. Your time was
144.
144 point whatever. Something. On screen right now. We'll have it on screen.
Because this man got a 143.
Yeah. I did have a slight advantage, obviously, because I do a lot of racing on Gran Turismo already. Also on the same track.
Guys, I let him. No, I'm just kidding.
Honestly, if you had a few more laps, I'm pretty sure you could.
It was good. It was really good. Yeah. Like just I probably could hop in back again for a little bit, but no, going around that loop and then hitting those quarters and inside, it was nice.
Yeah. So after driving the RCF now, you think you see yourself driving a Lexus F level tier car?
I honestly would. Like if down the line I plan on getting a V8. Well, it was either a GT500 or
American Muscle or Japanese V8.
Gosh, I gotta think now. If they come out with one,
why not both?
With the turbo.
But we got to be financially responsible.
Financial responsible. Yeah. Remember interest rates and all that.
After you have your garage to house all your toys, right?
That is true. Yeah. But honestly, like the sound of it and like, I can't imagine with the turbo in there driving around that track. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Like literally a perfect car.
Yeah. But yeah, that pretty much does it for episode number 2. I want to thank all you guys for tuning in. If you made it this far and you haven't subscribed, come on now, just hit that subscribe button or add it to your favorites on
like, comment, share.
Yes.
Turn on those post notifications on if you haven't already.
There you go. He knows what's up.
Yeah.
All his contact information for his social media is in the show notes or description. Mine as well. And don't forget to inquire if you want to be on the show or if you want to send and collaborate on a deal. We already know. This is Rides and Real Estate, the intersection of automotive passion and the industry that shapes our world. Peace.